that voters' residential addresses for voter registration purposes be the voter's permanent physical address. That's RCW 29A 04151 and RCW 29A 08810, with some exceptions outlined in RCW 29A 08112 or RCW 29A 04151. Registered voters may challenge the registration of another voter by following the voter registration process. State law requires that the Okanogan County Canvassing Board or the county auditor to hold hearings to determine the validity of the challenges. These hearings are administrative proceedings, not a court proceeding and not a criminal action. Today's voter registration challenge hearing is being held before the Okanogan County Canvassing Board pursuant to RCW 29A 08. This challenge relates to the voter registration of Nick Tim. The challengers are Naomi Peasley and Michael Heath. Today is September 12th, 2024. The time is approximately 2:02 in the afternoon. This hearing is being recorded electronically and is open to the public. We do ask that observers not be disruptive and silence their cell phones. Public comments are not allowed. We have received two challenges as outlined, one from Naomi Peasley, one from Michael Heath. The challenges are identical. Would the parties like to proceed with two separate consecutive hearings today? Or would you prefer to consolidate the two challenges? If there are any objections to consolidating, we will proceed with two separate hearings. Mr. Michael Heath, do you have any objections?
No.
Okay, for the record, no. Naomi Peasley? No, for the record, no. Nick Tim?
Yes.
Okay, for the record, no. Okay, so each side will be given up to 30 minutes to present their evidence to the canvassing board. The challenge was initiated pursuant to RCW 29A 08810 Section 2, which allows a person's right to vote to be challenged by another registered voter. The challenge contends that the voter does not live at the residential address shown in the voter registration record. Residence for the purpose of voter registration is defined by RCW 2904-151 as follows. Residence for the purpose of registering and voting means a person's permanent address where he or she physically resides and maintains his or her abode. However, no person gains residence by reason of his or her presence or loses his or her residence by reason of his or her absence. For the following reasons. While employed in civil or military service of the state or the United States, while engaged in the navigation of waters of the state or the United States or the high seas, while a student at any institution of learning, while confined in any public prison. Absence from the state on business shall not affect the question of residence of any person unless the right to vote has been claimed or exercised elsewhere. Under RCW 29A 08810 and RCW 29A 08112, the registration of a person as a voter is presumptive evidence of his or her right to vote. The burden to prove otherwise is therefore upon the challenger. Pursuant to RCW 29A 08840 subsection 4, the challenger must prove by clear and convincing evidence that the voter's registration is improper. The single issue for this hearing is to decide whether or not the address on the voter's registration card is the location of the voter's traditional or non-traditional residential address. All testimony will be under oath. I will be the one providing the oath. The canvassing board may ask questions of any witness or participant. The formal rules of evidence do not apply to this hearing. We will now proceed with the presentations. Mr. Heath and Ms. I'm going to have you come up to the table, and then I'm going to administer the oath for both of you.
Okay.
Okay. So, go ahead and stand with you so you don't feel so right. All right. So please state your full name for the record.
Michael G. Heath.
Naomi Kisley. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Please proceed. Thank you.
So I'll start just a little bit and she'll have some more, but we received the letter that the voter registration was a declaration of candidacy, and his voter registration was done at 678 South 2nd Street, correct? To my knowledge, I've been searching for the last 6 months and cannot find that address. I have a 670, which is right along the street of Salmon Creek and 2nd Street, and no 678 anywhere in Okanogan. If you guys can find a 678 street, I would be absolutely thrilled. It's the closest thing I could see is in the middle of the Salmon Street. And then I'll let Naomi go.
First off, the certified letter we received said 678 North, and it has been now corrected to 678 South.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes,
Did you
please.
receive the second certified letter stating that that was an error?
I have not.
Okay, that was certified, yes. For the record, the voter registration address is 678 2nd Avenue South, Okanogan. And we do have a declaration from election staff stating that in the record. I apologize for the north. I don't know what happened there.
Again, I don't, I'm gonna ask a question. First off, I wanna say that I too have not found this address and have videos and pictures and no idea where this is at. Secondly, I would like to ask when that voter registration was submitted, the date.
I would have to look in the voter registration record to see that. Is it okay with you if I have my chief deputy and my election supervisor actually in the audience, and I will ask her to go look in that record and give you that date? If
That would be great.
you got it. Thank you, Jamie. That's Jamie Grooms, chief deputy auditor and election supervisor.
Are you gonna keep going?
No,
or you want me to?
No,
Okay.
you can do yours. I just want to know where 678 South is. That's good go.
Thank you.
.30 so I'm going to try to stick to this. As stated, voter registration on behalf of me and the 3 different ones I submitted because of the 3 different addresses that have been given in public meetings and to you by the person in question. I am bringing this to because of RCW 29A08810, which is attachment A. The challenged voter resides at a different address other than the residential address provided. Secondly, this person is running as a candidate for commissioner, and according to RCW 29A24031, which is attachment B, it states a candidate who desires to have his or her name printed on a ballot for election to an office other than the President of the United States, Vice President of the United States, or an office for which ownership of property is prerequisite to voting shall complete and file a declaration of candidacy. I'm going to skip over the rest due to time, but in section 1 of that RCW, it says a place for a candidate to declare that he or she is a registered voter within the jurisdiction of the office for which he or she is filing, and the address at which he or she is registered. Secondly, I want to point out, I'm also doing this in regards to law in state RCW 29A 24075, which is attachment C, qualifications for filing an appearance on ballot. A person filing a declaration of candidacy for an office shall, at the time of filing, be a registered voter and possess the qualifications specified by law for persons who may be elected to the office. Please note, file PDC was on April 26, 2024, and he declared candidacy on 5/6/2024. When searching for Mr. Nick Tim's properties on the Okanogan County Assessor site and website, specifically the 678 South 2nd Avenue, as well as the other addresses I submitted forms for, the address was not under his assessor or property that he owned. I did search under Nicholas Tim. It is not there. I am curious if it's under a different name or a different entity. There's my question there. Secondly, in regards to that, I also searched on his F1 filing for his candidacy, and there is no properties listed that he owns within Okanogan County. Again, 678 South 2nd is not listed on there. By definition of residence, according to RCW 29A 04151 attachment E, a person's permanent address where he or she physically resides and maintains his or her abode. Please note, this cannot be his permanent address. It does not exist. And I know where this is going. And I know that he has stated in public meetings that he made a mistake and the address was wrong and maps are wrong, quote unquote. He is claiming to live in a place called the Crowder Building currently, which is a commercially zoned building within the city of Okanogan. I would like to read a statement from the City of Okanogan building official and permit administrator, which is your attachment F, so that you can read and see that it is not hearsay and it is a declaration by Brian Forbes himself. Number one, to clarify Mr. Johnson's statement about allowing residential use in commercially zoned building, the former building official Christian Johnson interpreted the code that if the property had existing residential use in the commercial zone, that would fall under the term existing non-conforming meeting. It exists as a grandfather clause, so to speak, and could continue to exist as long as it maintained meeting current residential code. However, Mr. Tim property has never had a pre-existing residential use on the property and has always been a commercial business and warehouse storage, which brings to the next concern. Can people live within a commercial zone? The short answer to this question is no. The City of Okanogan Municipal Code has language for a way to allow for residential use some of the commercial zones through obtaining approval first through the conditional use, the CUP. The residential use also is limited to apartment use only as a sub-use in the commercial buildings, as it does not include single family or multi-family uses. The creation of the commercial business and does not include the creation of a multifamily apartment complex would still have to go through the same approval of CUP. Mr. Tim currently has not gone through the process of obtaining any approved CUP, nor has he maintained a construction remodel permit for the creation of the residence in which he claims to have created in the Crowder Building. I have reached out to Mr. Tim and made him aware of this fact, and he is currently coordinated with me to obtain such permits, and that is not being done to this date. Lastly, the city comprehensive plan intent is to look at opportunities for more housing, but does not look at the opportunities for residential zones of the city and tries to maintain commercial zones strictly for business. You continue reading there. Second reason why I know he does not live on this mistake that he made, because he's not good with paperwork. A quote from the City of Okanogan Mayor Wayne Turner, which is attachment G, which you can refer to in text message, that was sent on August 29th. 24. And I won't read through all of it, but in there, it says, Nick is aware that he cannot call this a residence. I informed GOP Chairman Tegan Levine, Vice Chairman Larry Gilman, and Secretary Kit Arbuckle of this. I also want to and I'm not going to go into and read all the social media posts of his home and waking up to his garden and his animals and what a beautiful day it is to spend the morning on the farm, which is definitely not at the Crowder building. And his animals note that a beautiful Board of Appeals application filed on public record is listed his physical address as 11A Woods Road as well. That is the residence in which we know and we believe he has resided in and claims to have resided in public meetings. Also, I want to point out that the certified letter sent from your office, the auditor in the county elections, was sent to 11A Woods Road for Mr. Tim. Certified letter was sent to 11A Woods Road from the Okanogan County Auditor's Office on September 3rd and is attachment H.
Just for the record, it's 11A Woods Hill Road.
Woods Hill Road. My apologies.
That's okay.
Prior to March 2024, please note that Tim was registered in District 3 in Concanelli. That's my evidence. I have pictures as well for the social media. I'm not sure if you even care to read that, but those are the two addresses in question. The one in which he claims to have lived at that does not exist, which is on his actual voter registration, and the one where he says and has given tours that he claims to live, which is not a legal residence, according to the City of Okanogan permits, according to the City of Okanogan mayor, and is not built to code. And he claims to have lived since February of 2024. Let me note that date. In a public meeting, he stated that. Am I missing anything?
Other than I believe you brought the Republican Party to that building
Yes.
to show them the vetting process as far as the residents. It's what was told.
And I have people in the room who could verify that as well. And who are willing to do so. So he is giving tours of the so-called residence that he lives at, which is not on his voter registration, which anything.
And I guess I would just come back to the fact that we can stop this right at the voter registration. Being that under the perjury when you declared for your candidacy, I mean, it states right there, your information provided on this form is true and swearing and affirming. And you will, support the constitutional laws of the United States and the constitutional laws of the state of Washington. And that kind of right there is, that address better be correct. You better have your ducks in a row if you're going to sign your name swearing that, and not find a place, even that address is not even in the current system of any Okanogan County or the city of Okanogan. It leaves you, that from right there starts us off kind of going, well, we don't need to go any further just for the fact that that place doesn't even exist. The highway.
Have we got a date yet? Just curious.
So what I'll do is I will ask Jamie to come up and testify to what she found. So you're gonna have to swear. Okay, state your full name for the record.
Jamie Elizabeth Grooms.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Is this one working? Yes. Okay, so on his voter registration record, the date that his address was updated to the 678th Avenue South was on 7/29/2024 at 10:12 a.m.
I have a question. Can you tell me if 11A Woods Hill Road, Okanogan was in the voter registration record?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Any more questions for Jamie? Missing board, any questions for Jamie at this point? Thank you, Jamie.
Do you want to hand that to them? Those are the social media posts. I wanted to let you have so you can review at will. I don't feel like I need to take the time to do so to prove that his traditional, non-traditional residence, which he claimed, is not actually where he says he is living within District 1. I do need to say this to finish up. Let me read my thing. Nick Tim has, first off, I've known him when I worked for the county as a fairgrounds, and he came to my office and he claimed to be supporting my endeavors and quote unquote could run in any district he wanted because he owned properties in every district. He's been deceiving the public and making a mockery of Okanogan County. He continues to lie in public meetings, on election forms, and voter registration to fulfill a personal agenda with zero intent of representing the people of District 1 in an honest and transparent manner. I, a resident of District 1, a member of the Caldwell Confederated Tribe, and a taxpayer in Okanogan County, find that this complete lack of integrity by a man who wants to serve the citizens of Okanogan County completely wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So my grandpa Shag, Clarence Hoff, used to tell me. And I'll stand firmly here today and speak my truth until my last dying days. Thank you for your time.
Thank you both much. I do, before you go anywhere, there is an opportunity for the challenge voter. If you have any questions directly to them, okay. I would like to, I do want to explain or put into record, the RCW is very clear on what the county auditors to do when they receive a challenged voter registration challenge form. I am to send the certified letter to the mailing address that's in the current voter that's the voter's current register or residential address, and any other address that the county auditor feels that the registered voter would get the letter. Hence why you received multiple letters. I just wanted to clarify that. And the letter, then just for the record again, was a P.O. Box and 11A Woods Hill Road, Okanogan. Just wanted to make sure we were all okay. Okay, so, all right, Mr. Tim, I'm going to give you the oath also. State your full name for the record, please.
Full name is Nicholas Eugene Tim.
Okay, can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
First off, thank you for the time. I appreciate it. I have a question for a member of the audience to begin with, just to get it out of the way. Verlene, would you be willing to testify that as a witness that you saw the property when you came in and did the walkthrough with us?
Sure.
Kit, would you also be willing to do that? Thank you. May I call Kit and Verlene as witnesses to the fact that the property does exist and it is real and we do live there?
Absolutely. I will have to swear you in though, or administer the oath if you're okay with that. Canvas board members, do you have any objections? Okay.
Thanks.
Sorry to put you on the spot. It's just, you guys were there?
So I'll have one of you go at a time, just for the record. All right, so please state your name for the record.
Kit Alex Arbajo.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Verlene Hughes.
Raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Just have one question for you too.
Excuse me, if you don't mind, if you can come up and speak into the microphones, because we do have people online that are listening and we are recording, so I'd like it to be part of the record.
Okay. Does that one work? I just have one question for you too. I can't remember the date, but we convened a central committee meeting was convened on request of a member of the county to ascertain whether I do in fact live at 678 South 2nd Avenue within the Crowder building. You both were present. We did a walkthrough. Can you state yes or no that the structure is there? Is the structure there?
Yes, so the structure is there, and Kit and I both walked through it and looked at it. And beyond that, I can't verify any proof.
Thank you. That's all I need. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
Thank you both.
Thank you for the time for that. Does the Canvas Board have the evidence I presented to the auditor's office over the past couple of days?
Yes, and for the record, all participants were given the opportunity to either give their information up front or at the hearing. It's completely up to the participants and what they want to do. We did receive yesterday a copy of a lease for 678 2nd Avenue South. We received a copy of Mr. Nicholas Tim's driver's license. We received a copy of a letter from Veterans Affairs that had 678 2nd Avenue South on it. We also received approximately 20 pictures, 15 to 20 pictures. We also received a written declaration today, I believe.
And can I read that declaration into the record
Yes, you may.
now? I'll keep it short. I do want to, yeah, sure you guys have questions. So this is the declaration I turned in today. This is in reference to RCW 29A04151, 29A08112, respectively, residents defined and voters without traditional residential addresses. Particularly the first clause in voters without traditional residential addresses. No person registering to vote who meets all the qualifications of a registered voter in the state of Washington shall be disqualified because he or she lacks a traditional residential address. A voter who lacks a traditional residential address will be registered and assigned to a precinct based on the location provided. That being said, county commissioner races are broken up by districts and which are run by where you register for your address.
I hate to interrupt, but would you mind repeating that RCW number for us one more time?
Yes, this is RCW 29A.08.112, voters without traditional residential addresses. Lisa and I moved to 678 South 2nd Ave in Okanogan, Washington, 98840, located within the Crowder Building on February 1st, 2024, to avoid customers and headaches of people constantly coming and going at the 11 Wood Hill Road property. It was and is our intent to make 678 South 2nd Ave, Okanogan, Washington, 98840, our long-term domicile and live there. We were very quiet about the move because we didn't want the same customers and people able to locate us so easily. We spend nights at 678, we eat there, we shower there, etc. We maintain a private office at the 11A Wood Hill property, and 11A Wood Hill Road is fully rented out to private renters, and Solutions Weed and Pest Control maintains a small office in the rear of the 11A house. When we purchased the Crowder Building in July of 2022, there was a man living in a mostly built apartment in the space we now live in. The property was livable then, but not ideal. Previous tenants, not owners, constructed the living space, plumbed it, and ran electrical. The extent of our fixing is drywall. One electrical switch was broken. We swapped out the hot water heater, which was inoperative, and we fixed some frozen burst copper and iron pipes and painted. Before drywall, we placed vapor barrier between the non-treated floor plate and the concrete floor to prevent rot. We were operating under the premise of existing non-conforming structure as outlined in the Okanogan City Municipal Code. As we have no idea how long ago the structure we maintain as our domicile was originally constructed. We know that it was there when we purchased the building. We moved well before we decided to run. We didn't decide to run until April 19th. We announced on the 22nd. There was a debate whether we, Lisa and I, should concentrate on business more or look to a higher level of influence to help things along in the county. The higher level played out, and I announced the following week. It just goes on, down and on. But that's the part I'd like to read, is just to make sure that we, it is on the record that the building was constructed when we purchased, the structure was there when we purchased the building. We did a lot of repairs and fixed it up, general maintenance, and none of which triggered a permit need. It is existing non-conforming. We had a meeting with the city on September 5th about that. We're getting the inspector out there to take a look at it next Thursday. They're all aware of this. They, at the time of the meeting on September 5th, they were not, they're not going to take any action. They're going to move forward with us, CUP. This isn't a legal matter at this point. It's simply a process issue. It's a legal use of the property with a permit, and we're going to be doing that. The city was aware we were already trying to put apartments into or above the Crowder building, rather. We've been speaking with them for the better part of a year to construct and place 25 to 50 units in downtown Okanogan to expand housing options for mid-income families. So the CUP process we're going through now is nothing we weren't planning on. It simply is 6 months ahead of where we were thinking to do it originally scheduled. That's about all I've got. I mean, you all have the proof. It's read in. This document is there. We've ascertained the structure is there. We've, the legality of it, the, non-traditional address per RCW is correct. The definition of residence is, correct. We have the intent and the ability to live there. It is the intent to maintain that as our long-term domicile and to remain living there. Do you have any questions? There's a lot said in the challenger's address.
I think I only had one question. That was the lease agreement you provided. I didn't see a signature page. Was that an oversight on your part?
You might have fallen out. There's a stack of paperwork. I'll get you a copy of that this week. Yeah. Thank you.
Commissioner.
Any questions?
Challengers, do you have any questions?
Only question
Sorry, I just want to make sure we get the microphone.
Okay, I guess I just have one question, and that's on the address, the 678. How did he get this address? That's the question I have for you.
Good question. It's a non-traditional address. So if you go in the system and look, there's a narrative description of it with a nominal address assigned to the property for voter registration purposes.
Because I've seen other parts on that property were 674, 647 and a half, 649, because it is on the left side of the street, being not in a traditional, but a non-traditional. The odd numbers are on that side of the street, even numbers on that side of the street. So who assigned this 678 on the wrong side of the street?
It's just a nominal address.
Oh, you just make it up?
It's an address. We're waiting for our conditional use permit to come through.
Questions? I want to thank you all for coming and talking with the canvassing board today. The canvass board will consider the evidence and the testimony today and issue a written decision within 5 business days. The decision will be mailed to all the parties and will be posted on the county's website for 45 days following the decision, the date of the decision. Thank you very much for your presentations. The record is now closed. It is 2:33. This hearing is adjourned.
Thank you.
So I want this submitted into the